Hey, I'm Teague. I am 17. Don't know why it took me that long to remember. And I have been inspired by the good bonsai videos online, but mostly the videos online that I've noticed the people don't know what they're talking about, and I have decided I'm going to start making my own bonsai videos because of this. So I'm going to do one on Ginkgo biloba. It's my favorite tree, so it's a good one to start with. You'll pardon me, I'm going to fancily sip out of this cup. Thinking. Okay. Now to get scientific. Excuse me. So the Ginkgo biloba is actually currently the oldest tree on the planet that I know of. Not the single most ancient tree, but that's Methuselah. It's a bristlecone pine in Nevada. I think it's Nevada. But as a species, it is currently the oldest tree that I know of. It is a Ginkgo biloba. Not really related to anything. But it is a very beautiful tree. It's very resistant to many environmental factors. And it's a very worthwhile tree for anybody who wants to put a tree in their collection that won't be infected or won't be a huge trouble to them. So I'm going to go into some depth about this tree. I'm starting with this tree mostly because this morning I searched Ginkgo biloba bonsai videos on YouTube, and I found about 100 videos in Spanish, which is great. I don't speak Spanish. It would appear as if the Ginkgo biloba is a very popular tree in Spain. I'm not in Spain. I'm in Vermont, in a basement. Don't you dare fall asleep, computer. In a basement with a laptop. And I'm going to apologize for the terrible video. I'll hopefully get a camera soon. If I'm going to continue doing these videos, I'll save up and buy one, so it won't be so pixelated and blah. Where was I? Oh, and I found 3 videos. Only 3 in English. Okay? One was a dude down in Florida that I very highly disagree with what he's doing, actually. The video I saw his tree was completely rotted out because he planted it in straight sphagnum moss, which I will go into I will do some videos on soil, and you will realize that that is a bad idea. Another one was a video that was kind of just like a guy with trees, just showing them off, not really giving you information, just being like, I'm in this circle of ginkgo trees that I raised from seeds, no information, blah blah blah. And then another one was a guy called Wolfpath Wildlife, I believe it was. He had actually had 2 very good videos on Ginkgo biloba, and I highly suggest you watch it out. I'll probably put a link, or attempt to put a link, and fail because I'm bad at technology, in some credits. But he knew what he was talking about, and you should look it up if you want any additional information that I might not cover. So, I'm going to... Ooh, wow, that does not keep up with my movements. So, I am going to go over the leaves, the branches, the buds, the roots, and, just like pests in general, which will be a very, cameras this way, very, very short section, actually. And I will go, in general, how they prefer to be cared for. So, excuse me. Okay. So, now that I have properly forgotten the list, which I have just stated, I'm going to start with the leaves. The leaves of the ginkgo, if you have one, you'll notice that if you put droplets of water on it, they roll off. And this is because the ginkgo has a very waxy leaf. It also has the veins, which channel outwards. So, like a fan. It's my imaginary fan, right? Imagine each one of these is a raised groove, right? The water catches the surface tension and rolls right out. So like this, it's just going to roll right off, right? It doesn't hold water, therefore there's not much environment for fungus to form, which is good because the leaves don't stay wet. It also helps with evaporation. They don't lose a lot of water through evaporation, and I'll get into another reason as to why they're so drought tolerant Wow, my arm looks really big when I press it against my leg. Very unprofessional. Sorry about that. About why they're good for drought tolerant areas, or for droughty areas. Hot. They like hot sunlight anyway, so it's good. Vermont is a good environment for them, but it does not have amazing sunlight. It is very cloudy and wet and dark, and you end up crying from the winter, and then you're like, I swear I'm going to move away. Springtime, everything's amazing! So that is the general cycle in Vermont. No matter where you live, it might be different. I know down in Florida they don't have seasons, and some other places you might have seasons or not seasons. Just they're generally zone. Ginkgos are zone 3 through 8, I believe. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. If don't fall asleep, Mr. Computer. Yeah, it's not what a good computer does. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. If you haven't noticed, I'm a little scatterbrained. So if I wow, really spaced out. If I stray too much in my video, post in the comments. I will words. I will work on not stuttering and staring off into space as much, which would probably be pretty boring. Back to the tree, and less about me. So I will go into buds. Now, the buds of a ginkgo are very interesting. They make what I like to call little Michelin Men babies, which are these little towers you'll see. Actually, bring a live tree right next to this computer, okay? Even though it was outside and it was raining. So right here, look, and can't see it, right there. There's a little tower, right? This tower is actually not candles. Sorry, it's not a pine. Are the growth year after year after year. The ginkgo will open its leaves or pop buds sometime, and just not really grow a shoot there. It'll just be like ring of leaves, and then it'll be like fall, ring of leaves, and you get these little wrinkles, and they look like Michelin Men babies, the entire thing. And then one year they'll be like, hey, guess what? I'm gonna grow 18 inches this direction. And you're just like, you're a tiny tree. How are you doing that? That is my very scientific opinion on how the ginkgo biloba grows shoots. As you can tell, probably, I was a little surprised when this tree grew 6 inches in 2 weeks. Was cut back. But they won't send out a shoot from every bud though. They'll more do it like every 3 years. A bud will be around for like 3 years roughly, and then it will make a shoot. I don't know why it does this. I don't know how it selects it. I don't know how to manipulate it, unfortunately. So just be patient. This tree's weird. As you can expect from being around for so long, it has adaptations that we are not quite used to. So the roots, not roots. Not accents coming out. Roots of this tree are very interesting. So if you've worked with trees before, which I'm hoping you have, if not, that's cool. Congratulations, welcome to the club. I'd shake your hand, but you are on a computer. A lot of trees have they're kind of like, the roots get to this way. Roots get to be kind of like hair, you know. Those are the roots that take in moisture. They take in water, nutrients, nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. Phosphorus is on there. Again, spaciness. I will work on this before the next video. I'll also work on not having so much lag. Look at this. Boom, 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 boom. My hand's there. Nope, no, it's not. Wow. The roots don't get very thin. They get about, I've seen, the thinnest I've seen the roots of a ginkgo are about angel hair pasta thickness, which is pretty thick for, hair roots, as far as they go. And their roots are kind of like fingers. They make them very, very thick. The root tips start out very large and stay that big. But I think this is actually a tuber. So if you've ever seen a spider plant, and if you've ever repotted it, you'll notice that the roots get these weird swells. You know, there's like kind of like this, the root. Well, you know, might know what I'm talking about. Those are tubers, and that holds, you know, extra nutrients, extra water. So if there is drought, this tree can be like, okay, there's no water in the soil. I'm gonna draw on these tubers to rehydrate the leaves. Okay. And this becomes a problem in the winter, actually. If you get a ginkgo too far below 32 degrees, the roots will actually split and burst, kind of like a pipe full of water. So you want to keep them at pretty warm temperatures as far as it goes. Like 33 is completely fine. 32, you're getting a little dangerous. And 31, evil Kneadle. 30, you might get some breakage. You even might get some breakage on 31 degrees Fahrenheit. So in Vermont, we do have to combat winter quite a bit, depending on where you are. Wintering techniques may be different, but here in Vermont, it is very extreme. Take extreme measures because there are nights that is negative 20 degrees outside, and nothing. Computer, wake up! Nothing wants to be outside. It's that cold, especially not your trees. Wiring these trees is difficult because these trees, the branches are very, very breakable. The fibers in them are aligned in such a way and structurally built that they don't really bend. A pine, you know, you can bend, you can twist it into circles, basically. A ginkgo, you can get about, you know, this is a ginkgo branch, you can get it like this, and it's because it's kind of like a pencil or a chopstick. It's kind of ridiculous, actually. But these guys, so this is only a 2-year-old tree. I'm going to get into these trees at the end of the video. You can just skip it if you want. If you're interested in knowing about the trees, you can watch it. So this tree is only 2 years old, right? All these are. And from here to here, this is this year's growth, right? So this is all bent. This bends very easily. This is like a pine tree, maybe a little bit less flexible than a pine tree is, to be honest with you, but it still bends a lot more than this will. This won't bend at all. So if you're gonna wire ginkgo, you need to do it while it's green, because as soon as it hardens, it's where it is. It will take extreme measures and lots of raffia and backwards electrical tape to fix this. So you want to make your decisions quickly, which is always, you know, good to do. Soil. So the soil. I feel like there was something else. No, I already covered the shoot growth. So the soil, they will literally grow in just about any soil there is. They do like to have oxygen to the roots, like most trees. They like to have oxygen too to our lungs. So I mean, it's a pretty understandable. As you know, you're gonna have oxygen. So bonsai soil is this. It is a mixture of rocks and pine bark and hematite, turfus, shale, you know, what have you. Akadama is something some people use. Turfus, some people plant trees in straight turfus. Holds a lot of water though, so just be careful with that. But these are very granular materials, which allows for the root to find holes where there is moisture and go through, right? But also, say this is the rock. This is a rock, right? If the root hits this, it has to make a decision. It can either kill the root, or it can decide, hey, look at me, I'm going to split into two. So you get, and then you go right around, right? So when trees are planted in bonsai soil, they will split roots much more vigorously, right? So bonsai soil is generally better to use for ginkgos, as I'd suggest putting any plant really in bonsai soil, because I made the mistake of planting this, right? This stuff. These trees are in peat moss and perlite, and I don't like it. It's very hard to water. Bonsai soil, the water goes right in. You have to water twice. I will do a watering video at some point, because my first year I did this, I killed a lot of trees by not watering correctly. But this material, it just runs right off. Bonsai soil is good though, because it will go in, you won't get a mess. This water comes out brown and yellow and stains whatever it's on. This water comes out clear, which is good. Okay? So oxygen to the roots, you can't get oxygen unless there are, you know, porous holes. You don't want like voids of no soil, but you want there to be enough so that the roots can exchange information via gases, pheromones, and that they can absorb oxygen, because they need oxygen to survive, really. And I go over pests. Okay. Pest is a very short section, and I won't ramble much. I'll just tell you that ginkgos currently, to date, as far as I'm aware of, have no pest, parasite, disease, or fungus that affects them negatively. Vercillium wilt, some of you might have heard of. It is also known as tomato blight. It's a really annoying, stupid disease that infects trees, and there's no cure for it. I've actually helped the owner of the Bonsai Center here in Vermont burn one of his trees that had Vercillium wilt because there was no cure for it, and he didn't want to spread to his other trees and start wiping them out. The ginkgos are actually immune to it. They're immune to just about everything. Things don't really like to snack on them, and because of this, I'd highly suggest it. If you have a tree in your collection that's sick, you can use a ginkgo to, if it has scale or something, just like put it as a spacer, because they're not gonna bother the ginkgo, right? So that's what I do sometimes. Of course, don't like mash them together, be like, here, try to eat this tree, because you might actually get it. It might get it. It's just far less likely than any other plant to get a sickness. So, be careful with how far you're going to push that tree barrier thing. It could end very poorly for somebody, and I could get some very angry comments. Probably am going to get some angry comments for dissing other people's videos. So, back to... One second. See, I was told it was respectful to hold up a pinky. So, when I go off screen and drink, I'm just holding my pinky up. You feel respected, don't you? Pardon me. So, this tree here, this ginkgo, is 14 years old. Roughly. Don't have an exact measurement for it, because it is... I'm only 3 years older than it, so... computer. So... I haven't been really keeping track of its age exactly. But I obtained it this spring. It is August currently. I obtained it in April. I purchased it from the Bonsai Center here. It was left there by its owner. The owner dropped it off and never came back. And never paid the owner of the Bonsai Center for keeping it for the winter. So after 2 years, I asked them, can I buy that? And they were like, yeah, the owner hasn't really come back, so just take it and buy it. I was like, cool, my first ginkgo. So that is the story of this tree. It is fighting me very hard. So ginkgos love to bud back. Right? They won't really bud back here, though. Like, you're like, oh, cool, they bud back great. That's right. That's good, right? Yeah? No. They like to bud back in every single spot you don't want them to. See down here, these little leaves? Yeah. Probably don't. Can't see them on screen, actually. Last year it grew about that much there, and then I cut it off, right? Didn't want that there. I didn't want to be a 3-trunk tree. I was like, I just want 2 trunks, right? Twin trunk. It was like, oh, okay. You want me to make 5 buds here? And I was like, no. So I cut all those off. It's like, okay, you want me to make 5+ buds of this here and send them out all over the base of the trunk. It's like, ah! So I'm currently fighting with that. If any of you have any technique to kill off buds, I have a current problem with my pitch pine, my only pitch pine. I don't know why I said one of my. I have some pines, but with my pitch pine, because it has decided it wants to make buds all over the base and everywhere where there is currently not a branch that I want to maintain not having a branch at. So if you guys know of some chemical or some sort of treatment that can end a bud or end the tree from trying to send energy there, that'd be absolutely wonderful if you could put that in the comments. So that's what's happening here, right? This tree is only 2 years old. Pretty tall for a 2-year-old tree, right? Like I said, from here to here is new growth. So this is its first year of life. That right there is its first year of life, which is very impressive. All these trees are actually the same age. They're dug up by my friend Mark in Burlington, near a... there's one female ginkgo and 2 males, and they're just seedlings everywhere, and they're cutting down lilacs, and they found a bunch of ginkgo seedlings at the base. So he got them, and he's like, hey, do you want these? And I was like, oh yeah, I'll take these trees. Yeah, thanks. So I made this little forest planting. And pretty much all I have to really tell you about ginkgos. I might have more information for you at some point. I won't go into the breeding habits, because you guys know how the birds and the bees work. You have a male tree, and you have a female tree, but in bonsai it doesn't really happen, because they don't feel... Like, they apparently don't really seem to want to breed in bonsai, which is very interesting. They don't really seed or flower. They don't really even flower, really. It's just it's like a sock, a little mini sock hanging off of a branch where a bud is. Just a catkin, technically. So yeah, other videos to check out is the wolf path wildlife video, right? And there's a bunch of information about all of this online, of course. You can like it if you want. You can suggest. I'd actually love if any of you guys want me to do any other species specific or any techniques for bonsai. I would love to do a video for you. So if you have any suggestions, put it in the comments, and I will do it as timely of a fashion as bonsai will allow. I really appreciate you watching. I hope you like my first video. And bye.